My understanding is that seanachaí and scéalaí are two different things. Seanachaí comes from the word seanachas, which means wisdom, and it's usually the wisdom of the village, and it's storytelling about things that have happened in the village, whereas scéalaí is about the scale, the story, the legends, the myths. So I would see myself as more of a scéalaí than a seanachaí. My experience of storytelling is actually quite recent. I became part of a storytelling group, I'm going to say 7 years ago now. It's a community storytelling group. We are voluntary in what we do, and we meet on a monthly basis in various venues in usually the city centre, but other places as well. And I tell stories. I tell the myths and legends of Ireland, of Europe. I tell the myths and legends of my own personal life, usually to do with my children or my grandchildren. But we also contribute to things like Culture Night, the Lifelong Learning Festival, Cork Harbour Festival, which we usually take part in. And basically, it's a way to keep the stories alive. When I was younger, when I was in school, if we were very good in 5th and 6th class, Banileaka in Glasheen National School would read the stories to us on a Friday. And that's where I heard about Satanta and Finn McCool and Diarmid and Grania, but also the Greek legends about Demeter and Persephone, about the princes of Serendip. And I was, 10, 9? And it sat into my soul, it sat into my body, it sat into my heart. And when I got the opportunity to become part of that and to pass the stories on, well, first of all, I kind of wasn't entirely sure, but then I jumped at it. Because another thing that I realised is that my kids and my grandchildren are not being told stories. And we need to bring that back. We are hardwired for story as human beings. It's how we learn. It's how we make sense of the world around us. It goes right back to the caves. What's on the cave walls? Story. For me, it is a craft. I'm not entirely sure the world sees it as a craft, and I think that's a shame. Has it changed over time? Well, I suppose from the point of view of Irish storytelling and traditional storytelling, it comes from when we didn't have electricity and when it got dark, we went to bed as peoples. So the stories happened around the fire. They happened around the fireplace, and people gathered and came to houses. And that was a way of keeping our heritage alive. Has storytelling changed? It has enormously to move in with the digital age in which we live now. And as oral storytellers who go out into the community and meet people, we are competing with the stories that are told on your phone or on your computer or on your streaming service. And the personal experience of it has become such a rare thing now, in my opinion. And people don't know what that actually means. People don't understand the richness of the personal experience. And one of the beautiful things about the way we do storytelling is that the phones go off. And we have huge respect for our tellers. So when somebody's telling a story, you literally can hear a pin drop. And you can see people's body language change. They're moving in. Their heads are on their side. They're really deeply listening and experiencing the story. That's the craft of it. It's just super, super rare now because we are surrounded by technology, which is telling us all kinds of stories. And very little of that has to do with who we are as people. Very little of it is true. Very little of it is real. One of the things that I hope is that with more leisure time, because AI is completely terrifying, people are going to have to do no work at all with their minds. But with more leisure time, I hope that people are going to crave that personal connection where we experience story in our mind when somebody is telling it to us. That's the beauty of story. We can live it without actually experiencing it, or experience it without actually living it. We can learn from others through their stories. And I really hope that people will feel the need, or that they'll recognise the need in themselves for real story, pure story. But the bit that comes with it is that human connection, that gathering as a community to hear story and to tell story. Because if we can't keep that alive, we are going to lose that human connection, and also we are going to stop using our brains. We are going to lose memory, the memory of who we are as a people, the memory of our heritage. So I feel that with the advent of AI and roboticization of the workplace, that people are going to seek something real and solid and authentic and pure and connected to fill their leisure time, I hope. I just think it's really sad that our babies aren't being told stories in school. I have 3 grandchildren aged between 8 and 3, and my daughter-in-law, the mother of my youngest guy, asked me would I find storybooks for him for Christmas. That's all she wanted me to get him for Christmas, was storybooks of Irish mythology, because she had searched high and low and the quality of what's out there is horrendously bad, and she was so frustrated. And also there are very few people in Ireland producing the stories. She had brought stuff in from Europe and America, and they turned out to be rubbish. She wouldn't even give them to the child. And I think it's so sad that our children are not learning about Finn McCool and the Salmon of Knowledge, about Satanta being renamed Cuchulainn, about the Red Branch Knights, about the Táin Bó Cúailnge, all of it. These are our stories. These are pure Irish culture, and our children have no knowledge of our connection to them, and that breaks my heart, which is why I'm going to keep storytelling till I die. What is my favourite story? Oh, my favourite story is The Sons of Thurin. And that's probably a weird answer, because it's one of the 3 stories, or the 3 sorrows of Irish storytelling, and it's about the adventures of 3 boys who are betrayed. It's an absolute tragedy of a story, but the eldest of the Sons of Thurin has the same name as my eldest son, and it's it's deep and it's raw and it's really hard to tell. It pulls the heart out of me to tell that story, which is why I don't tell it very often. But it's pure Irish mythology and warriors and gods and the Tuatha Danann, and it's everything that we are, and I feel such a personal connection to it. Yeah, The Sons of Thurin.
You have been listening to The Digital Hearth.